Very recently, my husband transitioned.
Breathe deeply. Speak loudly. Is there anybody on this planet still alive? We are just playing with you, but we seem to be on a my husband transition theme.
So he transitioned recently when our baby girl was only 2 months old. Needless to say, I had a tough year and a half.
Yes.
He transitioned in his Audi R8, by the way. That
Good
nice
to know.
machine that we really like.
Good to know. Messages come in mysterious ways, don't they?
Very dramatically, and he wouldn't want it any other way. And I get it.
There's an Audi R8 for sale. It's black. It has carbon fiber on the sides. Really beautiful. It has 4,500 miles on it, and all of them have been clocked at over 100 miles an hour. $1.
I'm sorry, I had to throw it in there. So, I get it. I've, through that, found amazing people, which led me to you. Thank you, Viv. My question is, they're linked. The first one is about the fine line between the free will and the pre-plannedness of, I've read a lot about pre-birth contracts, so I want to understand better, was the accident something I thought too much and worried too much about and then manifested?
You are
itself?
not the creator of anyone else's reality.
Okay. And the next question is...
So you don't get credit for that delightful thing.
This is good. I want to understand more the free will, but so would there have been any free will around that? Or
There
was
always
that...
is. The thing that makes our human friends question free will is because sometimes things happen that your words don't support. In other words, I would not have created that. I do not believe that I am the creator of my own reality because I would not have done that on purpose. And the thing that we want you to find a comfortable place in is that, so we could say, well, often you offer vibrations that you don't mean to offer, and so you create by default. But that is not the case here either. And it also does not mean that there was some deliberate intention. So that's why you're reaching into that broader perspective. Was there a trajectory? And there's a trajectory of well-being. But what happens with so many of you is you don't realize in your humanness you have a basic and most common dread of death. We were playing with you just now about that. It would be lovely if Esther were to go out in her R8. In other words, nothing would be more delightful than to be happy, 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 dead. There is no dead. There is no dead. But it's the understanding, it's the blending of your perspectives to help you realize that there is no ending to what you are. There's just a continuing expanding and enhancing of what you are. And so when you come, when your perspective focuses from non-physical into this physical time-space reality, that's an enhancement, that's an extension, that's an evolution, that's an expansion. But when you, and, not but, and when you make your transition back into non-physical, it's not really back into non-physical, it's forward into non-physical. That also is an expansion and extension. The thing that happens to those like you and those like Esther who would not in a million years have voted for that is that then you want to question why. Esther spent a good deal of time saying, well, I almost would rather that it was by default because I wouldn't want to think that you were purposeful about taking off without me. And it took a while for her to realize that Jerry didn't take off without her. He's just pre-paving a wider trail for her and with her, you see. And so we know there are things that you want to reoccur, but there are better things that can occur that you have not yet tasted the sweetness of. And you will. And it will open you when you allow it, and you are more and more. It will open you to a full understanding of who you really are and how it all fits together. Because if there is anything that hinders the beauty of the life experience that any of you are living in your now moments, it's the misunderstanding around what you mistakenly call the death or ended experience, when there isn't any of that, you see. So when you think about it, when Esther looks back at all of it with some now new perspective, she doesn't fight it anymore. She doesn't even question it anymore. She understands it. Her perspective blends with it. She's even appreciating it, which she swore she would never do. I will never get used to this, and I will never like it. I don't care how much that wackadoodle Abraham has to say about it. I do not care. I feel how I feel. But she has come over to our way of looking at it gradually. And now that she is on the other side of that grief and into the full recognition and understanding of the eternal nature, not only of Jerry's beingness, but now of her own, now she really is getting on with life, you see. Yeah. For Esther, she said, you said you would haunt me. Where are you? Where are you? Why can I not find you? But she was looking where he isn't. She was looking for the physical trailings or tailings of him rather than for the non-physical essence of him. And so when she let go of noticing where he isn't and began enjoying where he is, the housekeeper put his slippers out every night in the room here. And Esther thinks that is so funny. A year ago, she would have thrown them in the ocean. Now she finds it just delightfully funny. She put his slippers on with her slippers. She said, now I'm walking in all of our moccasins today. You'll find delight in it in time. Just allow it to come, expect it to come, and watch for opportunity for it to come. Yeah.
I am much living life as a better person for this happening. So I'm seeing it's coming. I'm just expecting it.
She says she's feeling it. You're just beginning to scratch the surface of how wonderful it will be. And you will reach a place. Esther was reluctant to make the statement because it felt disrespectful of the beautiful experience that she had lived for so many years with Jerry. So she was hesitant to acknowledge it and then to begin speaking it out loud. But when she proclaims her life is at its best ever, that's no disrespect for Jerry because he's right in the middle of it, you see. Yeah.
Yesterday and the day before you mentioned about the best way to remove doubt is to not start thinking about it. So,
well, the reason that we are saying that to you is because when you sleep, your momentum stops. So every day, it's like pushing the reset button, and you have a new opportunity to start at the beginning where it's general and easy, in order to focus and then allow law of attraction to gather the momentum about something. And so every day we would do that preparation so that each day, especially as each day unfolds, there are fewer and fewer negative emotions because you got out ahead of the negative emotion with positive emotion. You chose your mood early on and learned through practice to sustain it.
So this is good, right? And this is what I will do better. My question is specifically related to the potential of something else, because at the end of the day, I'm a physical being, and what I've been through is so hard, and I feel like I can't do that again. So my concern is with having to deal with, I don't know what I surprised, let me put it this way, I surprised myself with the strength I had that I dug out when I had to. But I don't...
Because your desire was strong and your partner was right there giving you strength, focused with you. You see, so your concern is you don't want to go through that again.
Yes, I wonder what I've planned for myself, because it's, you know...
You planned for yourself getting your sea legs and living step 4. You planned for yourself understanding the eternalness not only of your beingness, but of everyone's. And we know there is the inclination to say, that was hard, and therefore it has trained me into an expectation that I do not want to repeat. But you can never repeat that because of what you've gained because of that. And that is the true gift that all of you receive. When something that you can't control presents itself to you, and you finally, once and for all, have to give up the conditional approach that you were offering about life, where your desire, your innate desire to return to your well-being becomes the dominant desire within you. And we know it makes everyone worry. It makes you wonder, oh, so I haven't had that kind of grief yet. So I'm on the brink. I have to have that kind of grief before I can have that kind of expansion. And that isn't the way we want you to see it at all. You can start at the beginning of each day and find your stability as you are now doing. Esther was a little surprised, knowing all that she knows and having played with us for the amount of time that she's played with us. She was a little surprised that it hit her so hard. But she was also delighted that through the power of focus, she found relief. And that was something that she did not understand like she does now. That through the power of focus, there is alignment. Through the power of focus, there is relief. And most people are not trying very much at all to develop their power of focus. Most of you are offering very conditional focus. You focus and feel and focus and feel. And we want you to feel and then focus. We want you to focus upon how you want to feel and then focus upon the thought that matches that feeling that you want to focus upon. We're not going to say to any of you that things that you would not like will not occur in your life experience. But we will say to all of you, you have the power to focus yourself into alignment no matter what. You have the ability to experience unconditional alignment, unconditional love, you see. So if we were standing in your physical shoes, we wouldn't spend any time making claim to that statement, even though you feel very powerfully within yourself right now that it is a true one. Don't want to go through that again. Don't want to go through that again. Jerry didn't want a dog or a pet because he had suffered the loss of them as a child. And Esther had experienced the loss of pets too, but she also had experienced the exhilaration of them. And so you just can't stand in fear of what could happen. There's something so basic. We love beginning this program today, having this conversation, because every subject is really two subjects, wanted and absence of it. And some of you are worried about letting yourself really go into what you really want for fear that it won't really happen or that it will come and then it will go away. And what we want you to know is that once something has come and once you have tasted the sweetness of it, it not only does not go away, but more like it comes and comes and comes and comes. You will never be deprived of the fullness of that which you have accomplished, as long as you understand that you hold the keys to the alignment with the fullness that you have become. Did you hear that? In other words, it gets better and better. That was not the ending of anything. It was the beginning of more like it and more than it, you see. Yeah.